Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. I'm doing things with my hands down here and you can't see. What else was I gonna say about this project? Hey friends, today we are making a solstice dress. We are ignoring every other project that I need to do or have intended to do because I saw someone on TikTok say they were gonna make a dress for the solstice. This is the solstice. It's not the solstice, that's in summer. It is the solstice. I do know what I'm talking about. Anyways, I saw someone on TikTok say they were gonna make a dress for the solstice, which is also the Great Conjunction and the beginning of the age of Aquarius, and basically the biggest astrological event that's going to happen in like the next 800 years. I don't know. This only comes once in a lifetime, if not multiple lifetimes, and so I decided that if someone else is gonna make a dress, I'm also going to ignore all my other projects and make a dress. My intention for this dress was to do sort of something gray, like a cloud. I went to Joann's, I didn't really find anything I liked there. In that fabric, I was very specifically wanting a very drapey four-way, I'm doing things with my hands down here and you can't see. I wanted a four-way stretch knit. They really only had one that I liked in white, but we're going to use that because white, gray is still sort of in that air Aquarius sort of vibe that is the intention that I want to go for. My inspiration is sort of like Greek, but make it sassy. I sat down, designed something out, did some math. Hopefully it's all correct. I don't think it is. And right now my fabric is washing out and drying, so we're going to iron it and then actually get to cutting. Somehow I basically managed to find that I could design this in a way that was basically all going to be draped or pleated rectangles and trapezoids. I did some sort of half-assed mocking up to see if my measurements were gonna work. Since this is a stretchy fabric, I do have a little bit of leeway, but at some point that doesn't work. So we're gonna see sort of how the pleating looks different between the muslin mock-up and the cotton knit. Let's get started. We'll get right into the actual cutting and sewing of this. I used the grid on my cutting mat and my math from earlier to cut out my rectangles. One thing I learned in this process is that four-way stretch knit fabrics stretch when you're cutting them. So not everything was even on my first cut. I ended up getting everything the same size later. Another hindsight learning I have here is that I should have made the bodice pieces trapezoids instead of rectangles. The shoulders were wider than I would have liked. I also used the grid on my mat for measuring out my pleats. The math I used was 3 inches of fabric for 1 inch of pleating. And here's me with too many similar looking rectangles and no proper organization. Other lessons learned is that using literally any other fabric would have been better because pleating this knit was a nightmare. I cut out maybe 90% of the footage of me pleating. I pleated and repleated and pleated again to get it right. Maybe if I didn't spend half of this project getting distracted by Star Wars, I wouldn't have to mess around with my pleats so much. Oh my god. It worked. I have half a bodice. I am sassy Roman goddess. The biggest fail of this project didn't end up getting recorded, but it is the waist piece. I cut 2 full-length pieces of fabric and tried to pleat them together, and I ended up with something that didn't fit me at any part of my waist and didn't hold any shape. Would definitely approach this differently if I had the opportunity to do it again. There's a lot more of the putting together of this project that I also can't show you and keep PG, but I basically did a lot more sewing, more pleating, and not remembering to stand in frame. The hardest part was attaching the skirt because it was a mass of fabric and really heavy. That's enough of me though. Let's go ahead and get into the reveal. Thank you all again so much for watching. Please consider liking and subscribing to support this channel, and comment below what you want me to sew next.